Test.
This is the J-Hawks Sports Network, powered by Heartland Technology.
All right, welcome aboard the J-Hawks Sports Network from Heartland Technology as we are set for our final, actually not our final, second to final, doubleheader of the season. AP, we round things out with that on Tuesday, and then these teams hit the road for 5 games. The boys will close out the season with a single game against walk-on. That'll happen towards the early part of February. I'm Nate Klaber, joined on the upper patio here in Jesup by Luke Baldwin, Anthony Baugh running the suitcase tonight, and Eric Clark on camera tonight. We're all decked out in our gear, so we'll post a picture later on as we wind down our season here, Luke. This, to not get emotional, this is our last doubleheader together.
This is our last doubleheader together, and I do want to say, you mentioned our gear. Shout out to Nate Clayberg for gifting each of us up here a really nice, I don't know.
Oh, are you on camera now? Okay, all right.
What do you call this?
That's a quarter zip pullover. Anthony's in there.
Yeah.
Hey, Clark, get Clark over here.
Yeah.
Come here. You actually get to see Clark. He can stand on his tippy toes, and so we're showing off our
new gear.
So
props to Nate Clayberg for outfitting us.
It only took 10 years, and we're all just gonna move on now.
Well, anyway.
I always wanted like an anchor jacket, but we can never get that done.
Yeah.
So
these are pretty sweet. So thank you. But yeah, we're on the home stretch here, Nate. And I still don't understand how they go about scheduling these games. Like you said, the girls go on like a 5-game away skid there. Skid's not the right word. Spree. But we do.
Spree's a better word than a skid, I suppose.
Yeah. But we do get to enjoy this one more time here tonight. And hopefully I feel good about it. I feel very strongly that the Jayhawk girls are going to come away with a win tonight. But this is why we play the game.
Yeah, they beat them 63-25 last time out. The boys, it was more competitive right before Christmas. But let's get to Dan Fox, public address announcer tonight. It is senior night here in Jesup. We'll have those festivities between the boys and girls game. Here's the public address announcer, Dan Fox.
Jesup High School proudly supports and practices good sportsmanship by supporting your team, respecting the abilities of the opposition, and the decisions of the officials. You can create an environment that is reflective of the community. Be a class act, be a good sport, be a winner in the game of sportsmanship. Please welcome tonight's game officials: Brianne Byerly, Brady Forsyth, Kelly Holthoff. Now the starting lineup for the Union Knights. A senior, number 11, Lily Lorenzen. A senior, number 15, Jalen Peterson. A freshman, number 21, Reese Anderson. A junior, number 23, Reagan Glenn. And the junior, number 55, Addie Pospisil. The Knights are coached by Matt Kraft. And now for our Jayhawks, a senior, number 2, Peyton Youngblood. A junior, number 11, Emma Booth. A junior, number 12, Jaden Booth. A sophomore, number 13, Emma and a senior, number 23, Olivia Nisbet. The Jayhawks are coached by Jordan Conrad. Ladies and gentlemen, please, as we honor our nation and flag while paying respect to our men and women in uniform around the world that protect our liberties and way of life with the playing of our national anthem.
Cheerleaders getting in the national anthem tonight. So good to have, always good to have the student involvement with that portion of the show.
Yeah, I can't help but wonder, are all of those cheerleaders in choir together, or are they just decided to do something special? That's cool, man.
I'm gonna guess there's a couple that are good singers, especially I know Bobby. I guess.
Yeah, Bobby's in there. I mean, there's probably more, but
yeah. So awesome job to have the cheerleaders do it. Starting lineups quick, Luke.
Yeah, you bet. For the Union Knights, we've got a 5'6" senior guard, number 31. Sorry,
forget our glasses.
Number
tonight,
11. I did. Number 11, Lily Lorenzen. We've got a 5'7" senior guard, number 15, Jalen Peterson. A 5'2" freshman guard, number 21, Reese Anderson. 5'7" junior guard, number 23, Reagan Glenn. And a 5'7" junior forward, number 55, Addie Pospisil. You got it.
All
right, thank you, sir. For your Jesup J-Hawks, a senior guard, number 2, Peyton Youngblood. A junior guard, number 11, Emma Bowes. Junior guard, 12, Jaden Bowes. A sophomore forward, number 13, Emma Zabel. And a senior forward, number 23, Olivia Nesbitt.
Well, out of the gate, Jesup got the tip-off and ended up turning that over on a travel. And Jesup back on defense as we're working here, just underway here in this first quarter. Jesup J-Hawks, again, coming into this contest, 11-3 overall, have really performed well here after the break with an 11-3 record, 6-0 in the Nickel East. Union Knights, a rougher season for them as they've started off, 2-14 overall, 0-6 in the Nickel East as well, and Jesup the first to score.
Nice drop step and up and in for Emma Zabel there. Jesup into a full court press, and the last time these two teams met, the Knights really struggled with that press. Jesup did drop it about halfway through or so, but when they do drop back on defense, at least the first couple of possessions there, they drop back into a 2-3 zone, trying to force the Knights out into the perimeter shooting. So we'll see how that goes.
Jaden Bowes with an attempt. Union back with it here. And fly in. Doesn't go. Rebound back to Union, but Jaden comes and recovers that. Look, we've talked about this in the past. When you look at Jesup, boys and girls, the success that we've had really the last 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, both sides, people seem to kind of ramp up to play the Jayhawks.
Yeah, I don't know if that's intentional just because it's the Jayhawks, but I think they just know they need to ramp up. I mean, we've really had some good programs here, especially over the past several years. We've had some big names come through. We've had the Treptow girls. We've had Lainey Pilcher for 4 years. We've we've got a solid group of seniors here tonight, as well as some underclassmen as well. But you're just not going to come to Jesup and walk through a game and expect to come out with the victory. So, I think it's just teams preparing, knowing that they have to come in and play their best to come out with the W. And it hasn't happened that often. The Jayhawks don't give up many wins here.
Yeah, the 3 losses on the year early on to Hudson, 38-34. Denver lost 40-36. That was back-to-back. And then West Delaware, just after the holiday break, 54-33 when they were playing up a class. And
that was – sorry, go ahead, Nate.
No, I was just going to say, again, Jesup still up 2-0, looking to gain on that.
Right, and nice move by Olivia Nesbitt underneath. Those first 2 games against Hudson, Denver, those could have gone either way. And that's 2 really good programs. Denver, they have a ton of talent, especially coming off that state championship volleyball team they had. And then, like you said, WD, they're a 3A school, more kids, more to choose from. So it's tough anytime you go up in classes like that. We're going to see some fairly substantial substitutions here. We got Shizzle, Peyton Weber, and Dylan Vogel coming into the game for the Jayhawks. And you're going to have to bear with me for a second here, folks, to see we've got Josie Burmeyer. Who else do we got? I've got to see who's new and who's been in there.
Nesbitt had that basket. Do see a whistle.
Taylon Smith, and we've got one more in Neely Hennings. So Taylon Smith, a 5'10" sophomore forward, number 53. Josie Bergmeyer, a 5'5" senior guard. She's number 25. And then number 41, we've got the 5'7" junior Neely Hennings.
Nice outside shot from Nesbitt. Take her to 6 points. She's got the majority for the Jayhawks. And we talk about this team, and this team can go very deep on their bench if need be. And I think there's even some times they could go deeper with some of those JV players, core JV players. But
yeah,
a solid 8 or 9 off when you look at the total contribution.
Right, and nice job by Shizzle chasing her miss down there. Olivia Nesbitt was the one to get it, but good hustle. And
nice assist by Emma Bowes in for Nesbitt. And that really has kind of been, there were some times Emma Bowes where her points were, but, she's a leader other parts of the ball with rebounding and assists and things like that. She's averages 2 assists a game.
She's just, Emma Bowes you're talking.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just one of those kids that's all over the court. I mean, and it doesn't matter if you're on the offensive side or the defensive side, as we see the Knights put up a 3 ball and make it. But yeah, she's a hustler.
Wide open. She looked at the shot. She changed her mind, taking it to Nesbitt instead. But there's Vogel, the freshman, hits the rim, gets her own rebound, which she consistently does, and unable to hang on to it.
She's another one of those feisty freshmen, man. She takes a licking and keeps on ticking. And she gives a few lickings as well.
2:46 remain first quarter. Didn't know if Anthony was there.
He's on his phone, not really paying attention.
He's watching wrestling. Are you watching wrestling over there?
I tried to.
All right. Well, if you get an update on the wrestling stuff, let us know. We'll pass that along. Our wrestlers are over in Western Iowa at the OACBG something. There's 6 letters. OABCIG.
The Jayhawk wrestlers
Eagle
again
Grove.
enjoying a stellar season.
Top of the key outside. Looking to break in. Little attempt on a jumper. Brick that in or bank that in. Give that credit to Lily Lorenzen. She's all the points right now.
So Jesup attempting, they appear to be going inside early and often, which I think is a good move. I just don't see the Union Knights having much in the way of, adequately defending Nesbitt, Zabel, Peyton Weber. You get those three in there in any sort of combination. That's a tough guard. And speaking of Olivia Nesbitt, shout out to her. She's celebrating her 18th birthday today.
There you go.
So, wow, that's out of bounds. That was a interesting series of events on the far side there.
Joe Smines making his way up here shortly as Anthony finally has to do something and get a headset out. Put him to work. We're going to have our coaches join us between the first and second quarters tonight, and then coming up at halftime, Angie Sabers is going to come up and talk about Dollars for Scholars. They're looking to do a drive and talk about the money that gets raised for scholarships for Jesup seniors and history of that. I think it's been since 1990 when it started.
Shizzle with the hustle play. Steele couldn't convert the layup. It's going to head back the other way here, but Jesup still giving the Union Knights fits just trying to get that ball up the court. And Coach, I'm sure you can talk about some of the gals out here as far as their aggressiveness, especially when they get in that full court. Is he on? Yeah.
No, here we go.
Especially when they get in that full court press. I mean, they got some real Badgers down there between Emma Bose,
Marley,
Dylan Vogel, Marley Shizzle.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of the style that Jordan likes to play with those girls, and it fits them well. Marley gets after it. Emma Bose gets after it. Dylan Vogel gets after it. Peyton Weber gets after it in her own different way. I know she's a post player.
Yeah.
And Nesbitt's a pretty tough individual too. So, this group's got that kind of grit to them, and we got to play that way a little bit because we're not the greatest three-point shooting team in the world. So, play to their style, and that's the reason we've won double-digit games already.
Yep, and even a team like Union where we pretty well handled them the first time when we went over to LaPorte City. But, that's why we play the game. You just never know what it's going to be any given night. And they got to come out and take care of business again here tonight.
Not in the NICL. It's never been easy. I've been on both sides, the boys and girls, before. And, there's even if a team's record isn't great, doesn't mean they're a bad team. So, credit to our league.
Speaking, go ahead, Nate.
I was going to say, the boys-girls side of things. And, it's sometimes we play up or down to who we're playing, and AGWSR was a tough night for both boys and girls when you look at that. But that's a tough place to play. It's a cool old place to play. But coming into this week and looking at as we let you watch the game as it's going on, and those at home. But again, joining us, boys basketball coach Joe Smines. Just looking back on the schedule, and last week has been it was kind of up and down of trying to get a game in. You had Owine.
Yep.
Owine last week got the victory there. Sumner-Fred on Monday.
Yep.
Monday, and then you were supposed to get Wapsie back. That was rescheduled.
Yep.
But you got them tomorrow.
Yep.
I guess just talk about when you get into this weather. This happens every year.
Sure.
There's fluctuations in how you game plan and how you stay focused.
I mean, we went into the week thinking we were going to have a Monday, Tuesday, Friday. And, we didn't have school Monday because it's teacher work day, and kids had a great workout before in the morning, and then came out and played a really good game on Monday night versus Sumner-Fred team, and unfortunately unable to play Tuesday night versus Wapsie. Game moves on to Saturday. So now we'll be Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, and like I told the guys, at some point during the year, regardless of how you set your schedule up, you're going to have this happen. So, luckily we've prepared now for Wapsie twice. I've had to reprint the scouting report 2 times already and just update a few things. So luckily we've been through it once. It's not going to be cold turkey on them. So, and Wapsie does what they do, and go back and look at old files, and it's pretty much the same thing. So, not an easy scout, but we'll be prepared for them tomorrow night.
So, but did you have something to say?
Yeah,
you always have something to say.
I always
got to see what it's going to be.
No, it's completely appropriate, and I'm always excited to talk about Wapsie. That's great long-term competition. But I do want to bounce back to that Sumner-Fred game real quick. I'm not going to lie, that surprised me.
Yep.
I mean, you guys went in there and took care of business.
Yep.
And they've got a pretty solid team.
Solid group. Yeah, I mean they won last night again, so they're 8-6, I think, and they're 4-2 in the league. They got good athletes, state quarterfinal football team, state tournament baseball team. And over there they beat us by 10. But if you went back and watched the film like we do as a staff and as a group, there was probably 4 or 5 plays in that game that swung it one way or the other and it went their way. So I thought we had a great opportunity to come in and win the ball game. Now, at one point we're up by 34 points on them, and I thought, when it went from like 12 to 20, it was kind of over for them. They seemed like we had taken their will from them, and Treptow was the man, and they tried to guard him differently than I've seen before, and he took advantage. Wymore hit some huge shots for us, and Parker Masteller's played really well here the last week and a half. He's practiced well, consistently well now for a couple weeks, and that's a huge part of playing as a sophomore sometimes, is learning how to play through the ups and downs. And he had a down at Ackley, did not play well, and he's responded in kind since then. So, if he can get that from him, like we did on Monday night. And the other key was, I thought unsung hero for us was Brennan Oshner.
Yeah.
He was in the lineup again on Monday night. He started Friday night because Nick Moore was out with illness.
He finally dropped that outside three that he's been trying to
which
get.
He's made in practice a lot, But we put him on their big guy, and he kind of ate him alive down there.
He
changed
sure
the flow of the game for us a little bit, and one of those things that you got to have those type of performance from your kids if you want to win games like that. And when the ball goes I learned from Jim Gillespie a long time ago, when the ball goes in the basket, you look a hell of a lot better.
Yep,
So.
and it was particularly fun watching that game because Oshner's older brother was calling it, and so that was kind of fun just listening to that dynamic. So
and we gave up 74 to them the first time, which looking back was unacceptable for us. They've scored some games over that, but in terms of scoring in the NICL, they had not done that yet. So our kids responded with a really good performance.
Talking to the boys' head coach Joe Smines right now, right here in the middle of the girls' game with an advantage 14-5 against Union. But as you're talking there, I'm thinking back to the Owine game that Friday, and how deep Owine went through their bench. I mean, it wasn't just at the end they were going, but they were in and out. Yeah. I think they've had 10 or 11 players in so far.
We have our scouting reports, and the second time you play teams, a little more dialed into who actually their 7 or 8 guys are. Early in the year it's kind of tough sometimes. You got to kind of juggle. Well, they've played in 8 games, but we're 7 of those at the end of the game or whatever. So we're a little more, knew what we're getting. But, they came out and started a guy. I had to get the quick stats out to see who it was. They brought another guy in, and I had no idea who it was. So I'm not quite sure what was going on there. I mean, they had their core 3 or 4 out there still. But, and our defensive game plan, our defense is usually based off a game plan base, what they're going to send to us. So we had to do on the fly a little bit there. But, I thought that was extremely odd. But you never know what goes on in other programs and that type of stuff. I'm never here to judge that type of stuff. But it did make it interesting to start the ball game off.
Speaking of other programs, so what are you expecting out of Marty at Wapsie Valley?
You're jumping at Marty. And then we're going to come back and actually talk about the game.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Luke wants to jump ahead to the Marty.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Wapsie had a really young team last year. I don't know what they won for games, 3, 4, 5, but you watched them play last year. It was like, they know what they're doing. They're just a young group.
Yep.
They've grown up a lot. Their post player broke his hand before Christmas sometime. He hasn't played yet. I don't know if he'll play tomorrow or not. I don't expect that to happen, but they have a bunch of good guard play led by Bamey. He's averaging high 18, 20 points. They have some other good sophomores. Athletic group, they've scored a bunch of points in some games. Then they've also had, I would say, some young moments. They got beat by Sumner last night and only scored like 44 points. So, but Marty will be ready. He's as good as anybody in the state of Iowa in terms of game planning and coaching in game. Maybe the best that we go against all year. Probably is the best we go against all year. So, no matter what the records are, you kind of throw them out the window. But I think they've won 8 or 9 games already, so clearly better than they were last year.
Nate, you made the comment in the girls' game previously about how you were questioning do teams fire up for Jesup? It seems like teams really bring their A game when they come to play Jesup. Yep. And I said that, well, they have to because we've had a lot of success. But Wapsie's definitely one of those teams that you're going to get. It's going to be a little extra heated when Wapsie comes to town or we go there.
Yeah, because I think our kids do a great job of preparing for games in terms of every year in year out for scouting reports stuff. I know they do. Wapsie does for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how other teams get ready for games. I know I have an idea, but in terms of Wapsie being prepared for it, they'll be prepared no matter what. So.
Yep.
So that brings us to tonight. So Union coming in. That was a contested game down at Union. I know you had some illness on your team at that point, and you don't want to just say that was a reason where it was, but What do you see in Union here in the second go-round?
They coming into the season, I thought they were the favorite on our side. They returned the most guys that have played a lot. They have good talent level. And they got a new coach this year who played for them. I remember he was a player back in the day. Played on a state tournament team with Aaron Thomas back in 09 or 08. Good talent level. Over there we missed. I watched that film over the weekend. I bet we missed shot after shot after shot after shot. And then we started trying to chipping our way back there in the third quarter and got it down to 4, I think, at one point midway through the fourth. So, it was kind of the same thing I told the guys today. It was kind of like the Sumner game a little bit. Like there was like 3, 4, 5 plays in the first half and a couple early in the third quarter where if they go our way or we make the play, that outcome might have been different. So, that's the margin of error in this conference is razor thin. So I think we're playing better than we were. We're a little more organized at this point than we were at that point of the year. It still comes down to making shots and, guarding their stuff. They run some unique offense that a lot of teams don't. So, but we should be ready for that hopefully come out and execute and make shots.
Girls up 20-5 now after a shot from Peyton Weber. But tonight's senior night. And you look the banners across the way, and it's not just players, it's managers, you've got some kids that have been involved in the program.
100%. We have 7 boys seniors, and importantly, we have 2 managers that have been us. Avery's been with us for 4 years, and Kaylee Bergman's been with us for 3 years. So, you go right down the line. All those guys have been out, I think, the whole time. I think all 4 years in high school. Well, Nick Moore wasn't out his freshman year, but played in junior high. So they've been in the program for a long time. Watch them grow up. Obviously, they've been a part of some really good teams over the last 3 years and trying to make their mark on the program this year and getting great leadership from all 7 of them. I know every senior provides something to us at some point, either playing or off the bench or during scout team. So, I appreciate all of them. I laugh because I had Kaylee Bergman, one of our managers. I had her in kindergarten PE 13 years ago. So
you've had a handful of them through the years.
Yeah.
Love Kaylee.
She's been great.
She's an outstanding
human
lady.
being. Yep. And so, I had your son Dan. I was seeing kindergarten PE. Seems like yesterday he was rolling on the floor trying to get him up, and he still does it every once in a while.
I was going to say probably, yeah.
Yeah, but it's hard to believe, and they're a great group. And more importantly, they're a low maintenance group. We don't have to worry about them. They get along really well, practice well, and they're fun to be around. So that makes coaching fun, and it makes the season fun. And I hope they have success as we keep going forward here because they deserve it.
So I always wonder this. You've had some key managers over the year. You look at Lainey Baum.
Yep, absolutely.
That she was the guardian of your car keys.
Yep.
Because you would lose them, so she had to have them.
Yep.
And then you come up through here, and Kaylee was kind of right in that role. And
Taylor Donnelly, Nick's daughter.
Yep. So I know, when nice drop in there by Nesbitt, but
strong
Kaylee
move.
Bergman, I said to her one day getting off the bus, I go, you don't have to carry all those. And then the manager said, she won't let us carry the other ones.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, no one's going to know how to do this.
I can't remember if it was Carson Atkins or Taylor Donnelly or, I've had Lainey Baum. We've had a lot of good managers in this time. Lainey Fisher. I got told pretty early in my tenure as head coach, you're not allowed to touch anything unless we tell you to. So that's fine with me, guys. So
you focus on the game.
Fine with me, ladies. I'll just get in the bus and get off. So that's we've had great managers. We have 4 or 5 right now. If anybody wants to come be a part of the program, we'll take them no matter what they do. So our program doesn't run as smoothly as it does without those people. They do a lot with our uniforms, our stats, our water, keeping track of things on game night, organizing things. So. And they got to deal with Steve Schmidt and I, so they better be able to be on their toes and take a joke every once in a while.
That's exactly the hazard they deal with.
And they've learned how to give them back to us, so that makes it even better.
Okay, all right.
That's a great way to be involved in a program, too. I think sometimes people think the only way to be involved with athletics is to be on the court or the field or whatever it is. But those people are invaluable, and they get to be part of that camaraderie.
Yeah.
And
a couple people we haven't talked about are Ireland Truex and Avery Dewald, who aren't managers for us per se, but they help run the video board and put the slides together. They run the social media things and stuff that head coaches most don't have time to deal with. It just this day and age, there's so much out there you can do, and it's virtually impossible. And I try to keep myself to getting ready for games, getting ready for practices, and dealing with the team itself. So having those people do those things is invaluable, and I thank those two especially for doing that side of things.
Joe, thanks for stopping up.
Thanks, guys.
And good luck. We'll talk. We'll talk again
thanks,
at some
guys.
point.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Coach.
Appreciate everything.
Thank you.
And we should note, Nate, for anybody out there that's thinking, man, they just spent nearly an entire quarter talking about boys basketball. What about these girls? As a reminder, we're going to do the same thing come the boys game. We're going to have Coach Conrad, the head girls coach, up here to talk girls basketball. So it's all going to come out even Steven in the wash. But we are sitting here, Nate, at 29-5. The J-Hawk girls taking care of business.
It was slow going there for a while, but they picked some things up here in the second quarter. And, Peyton Weber, 8 points on the board all of a sudden. And Nesbitt sitting with a 17 that she has. And playing some good defense and finally getting the ball to drop in. And you see Bain back in the game, too.
Yep. That was nice to have Coach up here. It's always funny. Well, you get to talk to the coaches at halftime, and I never get involved. I just sit over here biting my finger.
There's reasons for that.
I was over here eating my arm off wanting to ask questions, but you asked the more important ones. I'm over here skipping ahead.
You just want to talk Wapsie.
We've got a little player change. Shizzle, Marley Shizzle, she came in the game for Jaden Bowes. That's one of many over the last quarter here that we haven't mentioned, but the Union Knights still fighting hard. It's a fairly lopsided score right now, but I'll be honest, Nate, I didn't make it over to the first game. I did watch it on TV. It was a hard game to watch, and I have seen growth in the Union Knights. And I don't know if they feel that as players or what the sentiment is over there, but they are playing, I think, overall better basketball. They're playing more as a team. It's a little more polished than it was over there. And, it's baby steps when you're trying to rebuild a program, and it's 29-5 right now. I know they probably think that's not heading in the right direction, but I, as an outsider, see progress.
1:30 to go. Coming up at halftime, we'll talk to Angie Sabers. We'll keep the interviews going. We'll talk Jesup. Very important thing, Jesup Dollars for Scholars. The scholarships for the seniors, that's coming out. They're trying to increase that pot of money. It's not like they're going to give away like $100,000 this year in scholarships.
That's awesome. So we've got Dylan Vogel back into the game, and I think for the first time tonight, and maybe not, correct me if I'm wrong, is Sage Bain. Are we seeing her for the first time tonight?
I think she's been out there for a minute or two, but that's the first time we've seen her.
Okay, so Sage Bain off a bit of an extended absence. It's good. It's great to see Sage back on the floor. One of our seniors in the program, and she is a phenomenal young lady, somebody that I got the opportunity to coach over the years, and I'm just really pleased to see her back on the court.
46 seconds to go. Jesup is in that bonus. But, you look at this team, and I'm not trying to fast forward past the seniors, but it's going to be exciting to see when you look at Vogel and Shizzle and Zabel and both Bowes girls in there, what this team's going to continue to build on for next year.
Yeah, they've definitely got a great foundation. These girls are only going to continue to get better, and I know they've got a few coming up through the younger ranks they'll fill in positions too. And you always have those girls that maybe they're not lighting up the world right now, but all of a sudden they have a big off season of growth and maturity, and they work hard, and all of a sudden they come in and they're challenging somebody for a position.
Well, what's fun about this and what we get to do is, we see them when the season starts, and and there's some games that they go away and we don't see them, and then they come back home, and it's like, wow, how far they've come since November.
Yeah,
the first time we've seen them.
Absolutely.
2.8 seconds to go. Ball goes out of bounds. Does come off of, I believe it came off of, it will come off the Union. I thought maybe Vogel was the last to touch it. But lob it in, and looked like Nesbitt maybe was going to get a chance to get that up in there before the quarter ended. But 31-5 is where we're sitting at right now.
I'm going to turn my headset over to Angie Sabers. Little known fact, Angie's like a sister to me. I grew up her.
How many almost sisters do you have?
A lot. But her older brother, Sean Neverman, who I know as Strap, was like he is still to this day if you have best friends at nearly 50 years old, he's that guy for me.
Oh, yeah. I've talked to his dad about stories about you, so we can't even talk about that on air.
You know him.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know him, so
all right.
I'll turn my headset.
All right. Again, halftime here, the girls' game, 31-5, leading scorer for Jesup right now with 17 total points is Nesbitt, but Peyton Weber's really stepped in there and has 8 points. But we're going to go bring on somebody else, and that's going to be, hello, how are you doing?
Good,
Angie Sabers comes in. Is the headset good?
Yeah.
You can hear yourself? Does it bother you to hear yourself?
No, but we're kind of high up, so.
Are you not a heights person?
I don't know.
Do you want to step back a little bit?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Okay. So we've got some youth players on the floor right now that will show that, and we'll kind of go back and forth here. But we're coming in, so we're talking dollars for scholars, and this started back in 1990, I think.
Yep, 1990 was the first year.
And how it's built, it sounded like it was, we need some thousands of dollars, and ended up more people donating. They kind of built it from there, and now $100,000 this year is going to go out.
Yes, it's our 35th anniversary.
So fix this. There you go.
We started back in 1990, and it started with the McElroy Foundation. They gave us a goal to raise $2,000, and we actually ended up with raising $12,000 that first year. Okay. So just kind of snowballed from there. We have great community support. We have a lot of endowments that people pass away or just in memory of. So we have a lot of, the program has really built up to be something fantastic.
So how is it sustained? How has it grown? I know there was a telethon once upon a time and trying to raise some funds, and it's just kind of existed for a recent time.
It has. Back in the mid-90s, there was a telethon that they did, and I know I've heard other stories about different things that they've done across the way. We've been very fortunate that there's not a whole lot that they have to do. It's just spreading the word of mouth. People donate, they hear about the program, maybe their kid gets scholarships from this program, and then they come back and they want to donate as well. So we get a lot of business support. We get a lot of support from just different organizations in town, and that's kind of what makes our program go.
So I got to listen to the Jesup podcast with Dale and Coach. So I got some insight onto some things, and it's always funny listening to those guys. But it goes back a little bit, and people are involved in it, and how many people have actually benefited from it. But there's all sorts of different type of scholarships out there, so it's not just for. You've got to be a 4.0 and you're on your way to become a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah, definitely.
There's all sorts of different things that you've had, I guess, coming from the donors that maybe have directed an idea to get into that. Yeah,
so actually we have quite a bit of money that is endowments. So those are going to be donated anywhere from $2,000 on up, and those are going to live forever. So they are, we only give off the interest off of it. And then all of the others is annual contributions. So like last year, we gave over $70,000 just in annual contributions. Sure. So from there, any student that applies actually gets something. And a lot of the donors, like if you want to become a donor or are interested in it, you set your criteria. You come to me, we meet, I learn the story of why you want to donate, and then it's, some people want to give an endowment so it lives on forever. Some people want to give a term endowment where they give $5,000 and $1,000 every year and then it's gone. Or they just want to donate annually.
Sure.
But then they set the criteria. So they'll tell us, do they want somebody to get it that's in agriculture or going to an Iowa school?
Sure.
So they kind of set that criteria and tell us what they want to see.
Okay. So 25 years in, I think is where we're at.
Yes,
is that right?
35.
No, 35 years in.
35 years.
So the class of 1990, if I remember right. So now what? So now it's been there, it's existed. 100,000 sounds like a lot of money, but you're looking to do more.
Yeah, we are. The biggest thing is just spreading the word, getting more people involved. Every single person on the committee is a volunteer. So the more help that we can get from committee, the better. I'm struggling right at the moment trying to get a link on our page to be able to click and donate. So anybody that's has technology background, we'd love help.
There's a bald guy at the end that his time's going to free up here pretty soon. That you can maybe lean on him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, but anybody that can help, we have meetings. kind of our season starts in January, February, and then we do a lot of stuff January, February, March. April, we meet with the school. May is our committee or our program where we award the scholarships. And then we have a lot of breaks that we do. We, as a committee, don't do a whole lot.
Sure.
Students that were awarded money, they do work the funnel cake stand at Farmers Day. So in turn, Farmers Day donates back a scholarship to us.
Okay. So, yeah, it's, where you're at and where you're trying to go from. And you've got some people that have been on that committee for a long time. And
yeah, actually.
Probably be nice to get some new people involved.
Yeah, we actually have Tom Youngblood is one of the main people that started it with Sparky DeRoe, and we had some others, but he's still on it. He's our current president right at the moment. But Jen Vogel, another one, she was our treasurer. She's been on it since I think she said like late 1990s.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely. More people getting involved and new ideas, the better our program can be.
So I guess what else should we know out there from, I guess there's a couple different avenues. There's the people that receive it.
Yep.
So I know that will probably be coming out very shortly that seniors need to log out on the website and create a profile and kind of go in and select some things.
Yep.
Parents should be aware of that.
Yeah, there's letters that go home to the parents.
Okay.
And then Mrs. Bauer at school, student counselor, she's going to meet with all of the students and go over the program and how it works. They do have an application process, and they do get letters of reference from people, that kind of stuff. So yeah, once they fill out the application, scholarships open up March 1st. And then they have until March 14th to kind of go into the platform. So we're under the National Dollars for Scholars umbrella. So we're a chapter of the National Dollars for Scholars. So we can kind of use their website layout and their criteria guidelines.
Okay. Well, how can people get involved to start a scholarship, I suppose you could probably build on a scholarship, an existing one?
Yes. If you want to get involved, contact myself. You can go into the bank. You can call me. They'll get you my contact information, but reach out to me and I will meet with you and try to figure out what your vision is, because everybody's vision is different.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, you can check up at school, Farmers State Bank. If you search Jesup Dollars for Scholars on Facebook, it shows up. If you Google Jesup Dollars for Scholars, you go to the website.
There is contact information.
And we will, Anthony will put that in the link on Facebook and also on our YouTube channel, so you have that. I know I shared it on our Facebook channel as well.
And the email to contact is just jesupdollarsforscholars@gmail.com. So shoot an email over just with your contact information and I'll reach out.
Okay. And especially if you're listening in and maybe you're a Jesup grad that maybe benefited from the scholarship.
Yeah, definitely.
Not to guilt you at all out there if you're listening. Maybe, time to look at, what did that scholarship do for you, and maybe a time to give back, maybe, right? Because you've had some classes build scholarships, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yep. We have some that are in memory of classmates that have passed away. We have a couple of those. We have a great one that's continuing to build, the Coach Larry Baldwin Scholarship.
Sure. So wonder who's going to get that this year.
Well, some of his old players actually started it.
Okay.
And there was a big Facebook group for it, and people just started sending money. So there are really a lot of cool ways and avenues that you can donate. And, like I said, not every scholarship that we give has the same story. So that's been the best for me, and I'm very passionate about it, just learning everybody's story that wants to give.
Well, Angie, thanks for stopping up. We're going to talk again during the halftime of the boys' game. So if you just caught the end of this and want to come back, we'll be back at halftime of the boys' game. But thanks for stopping up.
Thank you.
That's Angie Sabers. We'll return here with the second half of the girls' game in just a few moments.
I was asked to announce that
All right, back for the second half action. Appreciate Angie making her way up here to talk at halftime as we are beginning second half of the girls contest, and we should be free and clear, I guess is the terminology.
Free and clear, yeah.
That we won't have any more interviews until we get to the next game.
We'll try to call some actual basketball, and I don't know, maybe the majority of people out there were just happy not to listen to us talk about the game. That's possible, too.
That could be, but they're like, we don't really want to listen to Joe either, but we'll go ahead and do it.
So
anyway,
the Jayhawk women with a sizable lead here to start the third quarter, 31-5, as you can see on your screen. They have gone away from the full court press, at least for now. I say that, of course, we're coming off a miss there, so it's very possible they will come back out in that full court on a make.
Big shot there for Union. They have not scored since the first quarter. Jesup shut them out in that second, 19-0. So Union continue to fire away.
Yeah, Lily Lorenzen taking the cap off the rim for them there again.
And that's 8 total points. She has all the points for the Knights. As you're looking at, she is their leading scorer, averaging a little over 7 a game, with 34% from the field, and a jump possession is going to go back towards Union.
A little off the mark there for Peyton Yimlet. Had the right idea, trying to feed the big inside. The big 18-year-old tonight, Olivia Nesbitt, just a little bit off the mark.
Yeah, Dan Fox just let everybody in the gym know that it's her birthday, so
I'm sure she was pretty excited about that. Probably excited about us calling it out up here.
Well, she's 1 point away from scoring her birthday, but I'm going to imagine she's going to beat that. Emma Bowes baseline, looking outside, finds Jayden off the board. Looked like maybe he was going to bank it, but Nesbitt pulls it in, take it out to Peyton Youngblood.
That was a really great find by Emma as well. Nice pass.
On the line, Nesbitt or Zaba with that shot, and a foul on the baseline.
Emma was a little surprised by the call there. I think just got a little body trying to get the ball in.
But she seems to be one, if there's something she's confused about, she'll ask.
Yeah.
Then she'll either agree or disagree, but she moves on after she hears it.
And there is nothing wrong with asking, as we see. Is that Lorenzen? No,
that was Peterson.
That's Peterson.
Jalen Peterson.
So the two seniors with all the points for the Knights so far.
It is senior night tonight, so between the boys and girls game, so immediately following this, we will come back on and we will stream the seniors coming across, as we have a whole slug of them. As if you've been in the gym, I think instead of painting, we just decided to put up banners. And we've got a ton of seniors to honor this year, especially some key basketball players that are trying to end with a strong season for where they're at right now.
Speaking of strong, the Knights coming out strong from the halftime. They are winning the battle right now on both ends of the court. They're jumping the passing lanes on defense, playing with a little extra fire, causing some turnovers, and then on the offensive side, they're knocking some shots down.
Reese Anderson had that last basket. Youngblood with the attempt. Jesup will keep it, but
get in there.
Olivia Nesbitt back of the rim.
All right, let's get a turnover here, ladies.
And this, they're used to playing from behind, but they got a little energy here, Luke.
Yeah, Coach Conrad not thrilled with the effort of the ladies coming out of the locker room. I think they're probably going to get an earful from Coach Conrad now.
Yeah, when you look at where they're at and what they're allowing, and Union's taking full advantage of it, but you come out at halftime and you're up 31-5. Unconsciously, you start setting back a little bit.
Absolutely, and that's probably what he's talking to him about right now. You come out of halftime, you want to put this game away. Clear that bench. Give the girls at the end of the bench the opportunity to get in there. But at this rate, that's probably not going to happen. So credit the Union Knights for coming out and taking care of business. Coach Matt Kraft obviously had some words of wisdom for them at half.
Again, I want to thank Angie Sabers for coming up and talking about Dollars for Scholars. If you check the link comments section on the Facebook page or YouTube page that you're following right now, you can find the link to that website. 4:40 to go. Luke, you're probably one of those beneficiaries of a Dollars for Scholar here at Jesup back in the day.
I was, actually. And I believe the scholarship was from Consolidated, and I don't know if it was called Consolidated back then, but Butch Boniface was the one that handed me the scholarship. Either that or Butch was the one involved with Dollars for Scholarships at that time, but at any rate, I still have that picture.
Do you feel like Butch would want to come find you now and want to take back that scholarship?
It's possible.
After he's gotten,
he's probably like, we really haven't been pleased with what you've done with your life, Luke. We're going to go ahead and take that money back.
With interest. 4 minutes to go here, third period. Nice pickup by Zabel, but Union's going to continue to battle for it. It will stay Jesup possession. I think Nesbitt got into something a little bit. She was rubbing her eyes. I don't know if she got poked.
Do you think she got maced?
I don't think so, but you can't really put it by anybody these days.
Yeah, it's a tough world.
Under 4 minutes, holding that pivot foot. Vogel does, and now Shizzle looking for an opening on that far side.
We're going to have
Nesbitt took advantage of that.
Yeah, Taylon Smith, body from behind. So Jaden Bowes will set the inbound underneath the hoop there as we see Peyton Weber come in to replace Emma Zabel.
Shizzle had a wide open opportunity, Vogel as well, but they're going to continue to move that ball around, and she can't help but take that shot. Freshman misses that. Vogel comes out of bounds and will be Union ball.
Good look.
31-15.
Good look. Nothing wrong with firing that one up.
Little pressure trying to get that ball across midcourt. Hennings had it. And now with Union, again, working that outside shot, and correct me if I'm wrong, Luke, but I see a little more intensity on defense with Jesup.
There you go. I don't even need to say anything, Nate. that turnover just proved your point.
Vogel coming baseline, comes straight underneath, walking that line.
Yeah, all she had to do is plant and go up. She was right there. Nobody was following her across the baseline there.
Nesbitt now over her age, 19 points. Under three.
Wouldn't it be funny if she aged for a year for every 1 point she made from here on out?
What kind of game is that? Vogel with the layup and the basket, get her on the scoreboard.
I would say that was a well-spent timeout by Coach Conrad. He clearly breathed a little fire into the Lady Jayhawks, and they are playing with a little heightened sense of aggressiveness here.
I'm still thinking about this aging process of every time you score.
That'd be wild, wouldn't it?
It would be wild.
There's a movie. I've never seen it, but I know that people age at an incredible rate on some beach or something. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
Okay, let's stop talking about it then, because I don't either.
Good talk, Luke. In with Nesbitt, turnaround jumper, 6 feet out.
Beautiful shot.
Well, she's 21 now. We might not see her.
Boy.
Here, a little break between quarters. We'll update you on the wrestling that's taking place over in Ida Grove at OABCIG. Actually, we'll do it right now with a full timeout.
Quickly, Lorenzen with the three-pointer there. Go ahead, Nate.
So 37-18 here in third quarter, but here's a report from the tournament happening for wrestling over the western part of the state. Carver Hines, a champion at 106 in today's action. And I'm not exactly sure the structure of what that tournament is, and maybe Anthony can do some digging on how that's structured, but just the way that big event in western Iowa sets up to be. But Carver beating a wrestler from Lawton Bronson. Aiden Bergman went 2-0 as he had wins over wrestlers out of Pocahontas area. at 120. Max DeVore also 2-0. So you're in a bracket tournament, how it's organized. They got involved in this about 2 or 3 years ago, and really kind of an advantage for them to go see some different competition that they wouldn't necessarily see until they were at the state tournament. But Gavin Bell, 2-0 victory over Justin Romo, Sioux Center. Kate Jacobson also 2-0 in that bracket tournament, beat a kid out of Western Christian. Trevin Delagardelle also 2-0, beat a wrestler Lawton Bronson and Emmetsburg. Caden Lang 2-0. Wrestler of Pocahontas, Tice, he went 2-1.
And all those, just to clarify, all those names you just read off did receive a first-round bye, which is why Nate's always only calling out the one name.
So you got the clarification there, but Wyatt Renner, 2-1. Max Soley, 2-0. Beat a kid out of Woodbury Central. Braxton Cavalier, 2-1. Dax Youngblood, wrestler to West Lyon, 190, 2-0. Drew Munson, 2-0. J.D. Sather at 2-0. So, you know, it's one of those things. If you've not seen this Jesup wrestling team and you've heard how good they are.
11 on the championship side, 3 on the
Okay, so in this bracket tournament, Jared Bucknell, and so 11 on the championship side of the bracket, 3 on the consolation side for Jesup. But what does tomorrow look like, if you can get a sense of that, Anthony or Jared, when you're Snapchatting with Anthony and
so this
keeping it appropriate?
This was all day today. Am I understanding
it was.
that?
It's a Friday, Saturday game.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
So they were out of school today doing that competition. So
that's cool because I mean, like you said, those are names we would not run into in a typical season. So the Jayhawks really put on a nice show here while you were reading off the results of wrestling there. Now we're going to see Sage Bain go to the line as she took a foul. That foul coming from Taylon Smith, the sophomore forward for the Knights.
One thing you got to take note of is, you know, they've scored 15 points this quarter compared to Jesup's 8.
Yeah.
You know, it's the quarter's gone quick, but it's made Jesup have to be on their toes a little more than they were.
Absolutely, and Lorenzen, who just came back into the game, has been a huge part of that. Glenn also checking back in with her. Yeah, I mean, Union just came out with they came out with more energy than the Jayhawks did. Nice job by Sage Bain, jumping the pass and taking it all the way to the rack. Great to see her back on the court.
22 seconds
Another
remain,
turnover by the Jayhawks.
Vogel, she's confident to go to the hoop. She's going to draw the foul. So close on getting that first basket, but had a chance to make 2 free throws.
And you see, Jesup in that full court press is just they're tough to deal with. They got some scrappy players. I mean, right now we talked about this with Coach Smines in between or in the first half of this game, but they got Shizzle and Vogel out there at the front of that press, along with Sage Bain, and those 3 girls together they're tough to deal with.
And Vogel, a freshman that's played quite a bit for Coach Conrad, really stepped in and stepped it up, and Vogel now with 3 total points. I think it's cool the wrestling community's watching the Jayhawks from Western Iowa tonight.
That's outstanding.
I'm sure they're just sitting back, you know, drinking sodas and eating potato chips.
As fans do.
So it'll be 3 rounds left tomorrow with the quarters, semis, championships tomorrow. So
nice steal by Dylan Vogel before the end of the quarter there. Couldn't get a shot off, but
so 25 teams originally, and then moving into tomorrow. Okay, so they're in first place. How many teams remain out of that? Still all 25. So
the Jayhawks in first place.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Good luck to Coach Gross and his squad over there. As we are between quarters now, as Jesup 44 and Union 20, and Nesbitt leading scorer with 21. She had a lot of points early on, and have really seen Peyton Weber step up here in this second half too.
Yeah, I mean, we had that little dry dry spurt coming out of the half there where we just Coach Conrad had to, I think, take the girls one by one and screw their head back on straight. But that has occurred. We've made it through that, and we're kind of back in the flow of where we left things in the first half. Now, all that said, Lily Lorenzen, the senior guard for the Union Knights, has really put together a solid game. She's got 11 points to her name right now, no fouls, and she's kind of been it. You know, you've had a couple other girls sprinkle some points in on top of that, but Lauren Lorenzen definitely doing the bulk of the lifting.
44-20, and an outside attempt from Union. Doesn't go. Rebound right there, but they keep attacking on those offensive boards, trying to get that back out. And we've got our starters back in there with Youngblood, Nesbitt, Zabel, and Jaden and Emma Bose. And Jaden's going to try that corner shot off the rim. Nesbitt give and go, and back the other way.
Follow your shot, Olivia.
44-20. Jesup was outscored by Union in that third quarter, 15-11.
Our seniors, I'm gonna mention this just because I think it was very thoughtful and kind and mature of them. They gave each of us, Eric, Anthony, you, me, a card before the game here, and had a nice little message from each one of us, a personalized message to each one of us. And I think I can speak for all of us when say that we really appreciate that. And I kind of nearly made an old man cry, Nate.
Well, I cried with laughter when I was reading Sage Baines. Thank you so much for announcing our games and trying to keep Luke focused. We really appreciate that. So,
truer words have never been spoken
there's
or written.
A true person that follows along. So,
yep,
much appreciated to Sage.
Yeah, I coached all the, and I know I've mentioned this probably more times than you guys care to hear, and it's old news and probably annoying at this point, but I had the great pleasure of coaching all three of those girls on a traveling team for a bunch of years, and I have really fond memories of that. And so it's really fun to see them compete at a high level here and succeed, and then to get little notes like that. It's kind of a special thing.
Outside, Peyton Youngblood with the attempt.
Got it.
Boom.
Boom. Big three for P. The spider monkey, as we coined her back in the day.
And she's really evolved as a player here the last couple of weeks, and confidence she has to take those shots and move that ball up the floor because they're leaning her more for that one spot.
Yeah, and I actually talked with her about this coming into the season. I truly thought she had kind of lost a step since last year, and that is not the case now. She's turned into.
Did you tell her that?
Leader.
Did you say I think you've lost a step?
I didn't.
And she said
I didn't put
it's
it
time
in those
for you
words.
to go.
I didn't put it in those words, but we discussed.
I'm walking away.
Peyton, I'm very good friends with Peyton's mom and dad, and we have a lot of conversations. So it was all done kindly and professionally, but she agreed, and she's turned around, and man, she's been a critical piece to this puzzle, and really having a nice season. And on top of it, man, she's just a phenomenal kid, phenomenal young adult.
Nesbitt with the last basket. I don't know if you're seeing this, Luke, across the way, but there's large pictures,
fatheads,
of Olivia Nesbitt that her own fan base is going to be showing up, I'm guessing, during here seniors or at the end of this game. They haven't quite put it out there just yet.
I think, we've got, I was going to say, I think it's just seniors, but I think I might see a Jaden Bose? Or is that Olivia I'm looking at right there?
I don't know.
Olivia Nesbitt?
I don't know. Eric, can you get a shot across the way? So we got Olivia.
That is
Nesbitt
Olivia.
In there. Okay.
That is Olivia, I think.
Olivia or Anthony pulled out the super camera.
No, that's Jaden. That's Jaden. I don't know.
What?
Is it Olivia?
What, the little headshots?
It's Olivia. Okay.
But the little headshots that they have, what are those? So scan over a little bit. No, that's the one up in the stands there.
Oh, what are you looking at?
Over in the student section, there's like a...
Oh, the students have...
Like a little headshot thing. There's a couple more fat heads over there of Olivia as well.
I'm sure it's all because she's...
A senior.
And she turned 18 today.
Well, that's true. Let's go with that.
Gonna get a foul on Sage Bain there. A little too aggressive on the attempted steal.
You saying it's her birthday makes more sense.
And
senior night.
Yeah, if it was senior night, I think they'd probably all be getting that attention. But being that she's turning 18, that's probably it. Her dad wanted us to sing "Happy Birthday" to her up here, and I was like, I don't think the people want to hear that.
No.
From us specifically,
No.
I'm talking.
51-20 is the score. Jesup in the driver's seat to go on to a 12-3 record and 7-0 in the Nickel East. Union would go down to 2-15 overall, 0-7 in conference play, and Sage Bain will knock that ball out of bounds.
And I tell you what, Sage Bain, she came to play tonight, hustling. Jada Bowes heading to the sidelines as we see Marley Shizzle come back into the game. I always want to call Marley Allie, who's her mom. We've discussed this many times because I usually do call her Allie Shizzle.
51-20, Union trying to snake back in. They've not scored since the third quarter.
Reagan Glenn heading to the line.
Jessup's already hung up 9 points.
No good on the first. See if she can get the second one. As we see Bailey Brown come into the game. Bailey replacing Addie Pospisil. Do you know her?
Pospisil.
Did you?
No.
Are you? Oh, I thought maybe you were.
I heard how Dan Fox said it.
Okay. And we're trusting Dan. Are we
I'm gonna go with what he said, and it sounds right.
Youngblood, another three, filling it up. So the seniors they're doing some work tonight. Peyton Youngblood, Olivia Nesbitt, Sage Bain. They all came to play. Peyton Youngblood fighting for the rebound. Coach Conrad's going to take no time. He just wanted to make some substitutions. No timeout, but he is going to bring in. We've got Lainey Schilling, Carmen Nearing, and Ella DeVore are going to come into the game. Ella, number 21, she's a sophomore. Lainey Schilling, number 34, is a junior, and Carmen Nearing, number 15, is also a sophomore. Three girls that get a lot of playing time on the JV, and now tonight they get a little varsity PT.
12 points now for Weber. She drops that last basket here. Get under a minute 45 to play. And Olivia Nesbitt finally got to see the fatheads in the stands. And she goes to the bench.
Was she impressed, or you're just saying?
I can't see what her reaction is, but I'm sure she's overly impressed. Push in Weber off the box, gets it, draws the foul. Take her to 14 total. It's got to be the most she's had in her varsity season. And we'll see some substitutions for Union as well. Addie Engel making her way in, Vogel in there as well. And I assume this is probably our starting team for the JV squad.
Yeah, real quick, I'll give you the names of the Union Knights for our friends from LaPorte checking in.
And Dysart.
I apologize.
And all points in between.
You're all friends. Pay no attention to my poor geographic call.
All right.
Anyway, Lily Lorenzen remains in the game. Of course, Lily, the leading scorer. Or did Lily check out? Lily has checked out. Okay, we've got some. Here we go. We're going to try this again. Bailey
we got
Brown.
40 seconds left, so
Bailey Brown.
Go ahead and get with it.
Olivia Keegan, Mallory Carr, Jillian Hansen, Addie Engel are your 5 knights in the game. I like to call these people out, you know.
Well, I know.
mean,
it's good to get their name on the thing here.
Yep. And parents or grandparents or friends and family at home, they'd like to know that their special someone is in the game.
Little shot to give credit coming off the bench. Lainey Schilling. She gets a basket.
Nice defense by Vogel. She's going to take it all the way. Nope.
60-20 is our final as Jesup outscores Union in that last quarter and shuts them down 18-0. Again, our final 60-20. Union drops to 2-15, 0-7 overall. Jesup 12-3 overall, 7-0 in conference play. Senior night coming up quick, so we're going to close out of this very quickly, but congratulations, Olivia Nesbitt, on her birthday. 25 points leads Jesup, but I want to give credit to Peyton Weber right now, who had 14 as well. Again, thanks for following us on the J-Hawks Sports Network. For Luke Baldwin, Anthony Bond, Eric Clark, I'm Nate Kleberg in the upper patio. Watch us again on Facebook or YouTube. This is the J-Hawks Sports Network from Heartland Technology. Music courtesy bensound.com. Stay tuned. Senior night, we'll have that for you here soon.